All right, from whence we last left off, we basically created half the joints, but before I can flip them, what I need to do is adjust the local rotation axis. And what that is basically when we hit E, I'll hit W so you can see a little better. Let's make that a little smaller. When I hit, the manipulator, you can see that it has a direction that it's going. Okay, so let's go down. You can see it going down. All right. Now notice though that this one to this one, that they are not the same. That the X is going down, but see where the blue is, the Z axis? This one's going this direction, and then the next one's going that direction, okay? Also, I want it to be perpendicular. What I mean by that is if this, for some reason, was not in the right direction, it wouldn't be rotating straight. So the idea here is that as I grab these, they should both be rotating the same way. So see how this one's going that way, but this one's going that way. And if I go up this way, see how this one's going that way? I want them to be going in the same direction. And you can see this is going to happen in a lot of places. So if I select this one, let's hit W so it's a bit easier to see. See, like look at this right here. This is a great example. So the red's going up, the Y's going down, but then look, now the blue's going that way. So it's going completely the opposite. That one's going that way. This one's going that way. This one's also going that way. And they're always like that at the end. Okay, so I just want to make sure that they're going in a direction that I desire. So if you look at here, see how, if you look at this one, see how the blue's going up this way? But this blue's going down this way. They should both be going straight that way. Like this one's kind of straight. Okay, so basically I want to change how they're oriented. You can see this one in general though. See how the red's not even going down towards the wrist. We didn't parent any of these. So I'm gonna click on this, hold shift, click, 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 click. Then lastly, while still holding shift, click on this and hit P. And that will parent all of those items to that one. Okay. So let's go ahead and basically fix the local rotation axis. So I'm gonna select the highest in the hierarchy, and then we're just going to go to actually we don't want to do that. We're going to go and we're going to click on this to get the component view, but then instead of points or edges or faces, I'm going to hit the question mark, which is miscellaneous, and that's actually going to give me my local rotation axis. And what I want to do is just have them all pointing in the same direction. So I'm going to grab this. Come on, you can do it. Why is it not? There it goes. I don't know why it wasn't. Okay. And I want this to I'm going to make all of them point to the right, my Z axis. So to do this, don't grab any of the axis, just the red one. And I'm just going to rotate it. So basically, it's also going to the right. And I just want to make sure it's going straight to the right like that. I want it to go parallel or perpendicular to the leg. Okay. So you see this one down here is also not doing that. So again, I'm going to grab this, just the red axis, just the Z. And I'm going to rotate it like that. And a little bit more. Just want to make sure it's straight. Good. And same thing here. Now what I could do, instead of doing it the way we have been doing it, is I can go down here and just write rotate -R for relative. And then that's a flag. They use flags if you're familiar with coding. And then it's X, Y, Z. So I need to rotate it. I'm just going to do 90 space 0 space 0 semicolon. And that's going to rotate it 90 degrees. Okay, which I got to go another one. So I'm going to click down there. If I hit the up arrow, it's going to give me the last thing I wrote. Hit it again, and that'll also rotate it 90 degrees. You can also just rotate it manually if that makes you feel better. This one, you'll notice, is completely wrong. All of the end joints are not going to be in the right direction because the only reason why this knows to go this direction is because it's pointing towards its child. This has no child. So it will take world orientation. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm just going to make Z go that way first. Or I'm sorry, X go that way first. And then I'm just going to rotate Z. We'll just do it this way. Enter. Enter. And that was not what I was hoping for. Okay, we'll just do it manually. I'm not sure. Make sure that's like that. Okay, so now see how all the legs are facing the right direction. We're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to grab this one and rotate 90 and rotate 90. Okay, so now they're both facing also that direction. That one looks good. This one also. This one and Q. This one and that one's different, so we'll just do those. Okay, and I'm just gonna do the same thing. Up, Probably should have just done 180 because they're all 180 anyway. But okay, so those are now all facing that direction. This one I'm gonna have to manually do just because again, it's got that whole thing. I'm gonna hold J for increment and just make it. I feel like it was pretty straight to start with, and then we'll just rotate it like that. And then we'll hold J and make sure that the Z is going that way. Good, so those are all now pointing that direction. Same thing here. The end joints honestly don't really matter because we're actually not going to animate them, but it just annoys me that they would do this to me. I just want it to be straight just because, I don't know. Oh, actually, sorry, that's the eyeball. Leave the eyeball at world. You want that at world anyway. But this jaw joint could be corrected. So I just undid that. And then we'll just go like that. Okay. Maybe downwards a little bit. All right. Then we have this clavicle here. Now, what you want to do is you want to make them at the main rotation. So the idea here is that its primary rotation, I look at it like these are pins. Like this Y is a pin that's stuck into it, and you can rotate on that pin, right, on that hinge. The Z is a pin on there, and so Z would be rotating like this. And X is here, which means it would be rolling, okay? So to give you an idea, I'm just going to switch back to regular mode here. Now, when I select this joint and I rotate, notice it's the Z axis that I'm rotating on, okay? So Z is meant to be our primary axis. So if I grab all of these, you will notice that they all now rotate in that direction, okay? Because Z is pointing in here. But Z is my primary rotation axis, meaning that that's the main way that it's going to rotate. Obviously, you can rotate other ways, especially this one can rotate in others. But its main way my leg's supposed to rotate is this way. So I want to treat the arm the same way, okay? So I'm just going to go back and select this again and go there. So if you look at your shoulders, right? So they can kind of shrug up and they can go forward and backwards. So it's kind of up to you how you want to treat it. I'm actually going to leave it this way because I feel like shrugging is probably the more likely way that I'm probably going to use it. Now, the arm here, though, its main way, think about walking, it's going to swing this way, right? Like that. So if you look right now, I actually want this to actually be rotated this way. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it in the plane. So see how the arm going, like if it was in a plane, goes this way. So I'm going to make sure it goes in that same direction. So that looks acceptable. I'm going to take this guy. And we're going to do the same thing. Always rotate on Z. And let's see. That looks good. All right. And then this needs to X should be pointing. I'm just going to kind of split the difference with the hands or with the rest of the fingers here. That was too far. And go like that. And then its main rotation, if you look at your wrist, right, is kind of up and down. It can go side to side, but not very well. So we're going to go like that. And I'm just going to make sure that this is oriented more in line. Okay. And then the fingers and the thumbs and all that, we just want to make sure that they are correct. So if we look, you can see the thumb here looks kind of okay. I think that one's fine. Let's rotate this a little bit. Again, it doesn't actually matter. It just bothers me. And if we look at these finger joints, you can see that they are a little bit skewed. So I'm just going to go and try to make it a little more straight. So they're a little bit more in line with how it's supposed to be. See how this is kind of crooked? I'm just going to make it more straight. And then this should be like this kind of a thing. And I'm just going to go through and straighten them all out because they're all a little bit crooked to me anyway. Because if this finger was rolling, it rolled downwards, right? Oops, I don't know what happened there. Somehow I lost my... Well, actually, let me show you. So if I grab this finger, watch. Let's hit Q. This one. Well, it doesn't remember if I grab the last one. Watch. If I rotate, oops, on my blue axis, the red one, see how it's rotating kind of crooked? It's like going this way a little bit. Now, if we grab the one that we just did, you can see Q, doink, doink. See how it's going straight down? That's what we're looking for. I want it to go straight down. So even this one looks a little bit like it's a little crooked that way. But we'll just go here, hit this. It's gonna go a little bit more that way. Come on, a little bit more that way. All right, but you see how these are kind of crooked. So this actually has got to go more that way. This is gonna go more that way, more that way, a little bit more, and this one as well, a little bit more that way. They're all just a little bit tilted. I feel that was a little too much. A little bit tilted to the side there. Okay. So once those are good and the axes are all going in the right direction, we can actually go ahead and mirror the skeleton over. So it's pretty easy. What you want to do is we're just going to grab one joint, and I'm just going to go ahead and go to, let's go to rigging, and we're going to go skeleton. You'll see mirror joints, hit the option box. And what we want to do is we want to mirror across, and what you want to do is think about it if this was making a plane. So if it used the X and Y, so here's X and there's Y, that means it would go this way. And if it was YZ, so if it used the Y and the Z, that means it'd be creating a, imagine a square being this way, so it would flip across that. And then XZ would be basically on the ground, and it would flip upwards, okay? So that might be kind of hard to understand, but look at it like this. It's going to flip on whatever letter is not in there, meaning if it's XY, it means it's going to flip on the Z axis, which means it's going to flip back. YZ is what we want because we want to flip on the X axis. So I want YZ. We're going to go ahead and do behavior. We're going to search for underscore L, and replace with underscore R underscore, and hit apply. We're going to click on this and just do the same thing, apply. Good. And then lastly is this eyeball. Oops, grab the eyeball. There we go. And same thing, LR, but this time do orientation. The reason being is that I'll show you in a second what the difference is between behavior and orientation. And then just go ahead and hit mirror, because then we'll be done. Okay, so behavior means what it's going to do is that if you grab both of them, if I rotate them, you'll see they go back and forth, okay? And they go, but see how they mirror each other? So it's almost like if it was in a mirror, which is most of the time what you want, right? So like these arms would both go up and down together, but generally speaking, you would go like this, right? The eyes are a little bit different than that because normally if you take an eye and you take an eye, so that's behavior. If I rotate this way, they both rotate together. And if we rotate to, I mean, you don't roll your eyes. Well, not like that anyway, up and down. So pan and tilt, basically, they work together because the eyes move the same way as opposed to like the arms and the legs, which might generally move opposite. Obviously, they can also move the same direction, but that's the idea behind it. Okay, and then once you have that done, you basically have the skeleton done. We're going to call that good. Normally, I like to do the weight painting as well, but we'll do that later because that's kind of a cumbersome activity. Okay, so just save this and then just submit this in the grade book for whatever week this is. Okay, so good luck. If you run into any problems, let me know. I'll try to do my best to help. Sorry I couldn't come in today.